Welcome wrestling fans, this is Kaiser Slam Reacts and this is my 2026 Elimination Chamber card prediction video. Kicking off our 2026 Elimination Chamber predictions, let's start with Becky Lynch versus the hometown hero AJ Lee. Now me personally, I do have high expectations for this match. I know the build-up has been a bit awkward with AJ's lack of appearances, but every time these two have stepped in the ring together, it's been gold. Whether it be in the tag team match or War Games, I really liked what they did together. Now for the match itself, I expect some highlight moments. We're of course going to see some good wrestling between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, even with the ring rust of AJ. But for the match itself, I do think it's going to be full shenanigans from the WWE. I do not expect them to choose a decisive winner because it could harm their eventual WrestleMania matchup, which I believe is more important to the WWE in the grand scheme. I do think this is in WWE's best interest though, because when it comes to the Women's Intercontinental Championship, we haven't really seen it featured on many PLEs. And there's no bigger match right now than Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. So protecting the winner from this match until WrestleMania is a good idea by the WWE in my opinion. Now stepping into the Women's Elimination Chamber, this one's hard to predict. There's a lot of storylines going into this match, but none of them really tie into current champion Jade Cargill. Starting off with a lot of people's favorite to win, Tiffany Stratton. Now Tiffany Stratton most likely would have been my favorite coming into this match if we hadn't already had the feud between the two at Saturday night's main event. Because of how poorly that match was received by the fans, I don't think we're going to run this back and have Tiffany win the Elimination Chamber, thankfully. Now don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against Tiffany Stratton, but I think how lackluster Jade Cargill's title reign has been, a win back from Tiffany Stratton wouldn't really do anything to help anybody. I'd much rather see Tiffany Stratton in a situation where she's using her recent growth to help uplift another superstar, like maybe a showdown for the Women's United States Championship against Julia. And speaking of Julia, let's talk about Kiana James. I really like what WWE has done with Kiana James lately, especially in the Royal Rumble where she held her own against some of the biggest superstars in the industry. And when she won that triple threat qualifier with the Queen and Nia Jax, what a shocking moment. But unfortunately, I think the fairy tale story ends here, and we're not going to see much from Kiana in this match. Maybe a nice high-flying spot, but I think Kiana's suited for maybe a turn on Julia at WrestleMania, costing her the United States Championship and giving her something to do for the future. And speaking of the future, we have the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Now if you remember, Jade and Asuka have prior context built up where they met in the Queen of the Ring finals match at Night of Champions, where Jade ended up winning and going on to face Tiffany Stratton for the championship at SummerSlam. I really enjoyed this match and it kinda did leave me wanting more, but Asuka already has plans built up with this feud brewing between Kairi Sane, Rhea, and Io Sky. So I think there's a lot for Asuka to do. I don't think WWE is gonna give her the win in this one. And speaking of Rhea, we also do have Mommy in this match. A one-on-one matchup between Rhea and Jade could be awesome with how strong they are, how fast they are, how durable they are. We could get a really good match from the two. But again, Rhea has so much going on. She has tag team championships with Io where we see such a strong women's tag division. I don't think they're going to take those belts off of Rhea and Io. Keeping the tag belts on Rio is very good for WWE and their WrestleMania schedule. It gives them the opportunity to schedule two of their biggest women's stars in a match, but not have to give them a world title opportunity. So with that being said, I think it makes sense for Rhea to not win this match. Now our final two ladies are the two women that I think have the most realistic opportunity at finishing the Elimination Chamber as winner. Starting off with Raquel Rodriguez, who has just been amazing as of late. I could really see WWE rewarding Raquel for the awesome work she's been doing in the last year and a half with all of the injuries to Liv Morgan and keeping the Judgment Day up and running. And there's a lot to like about a potential showdown between Jade and Raquel. We've seen it teased many times, and their physicality, their size, it could really be cataclysmic in all of the best ways. But there's a match I would rather see Raquel inserted into, and that's the Liv and Stephanie feud. I feel like Raw has already contributed a ton of effort into building that triple threat match, and with what we saw from Bianca, Rhea, and Io last year, in my opinion being the best WrestleMania match of both nights, I really feel like they could deliver something special by putting these three women together. And speaking of a triple threat match at WrestleMania, I think our winner of the Elimination Chamber is going to be setting up just that. And with there only being one left, yes, that's right. I think Alexa Bliss is going to be our 2026 Women's Elimination Chamber winner. I think Alexa Bliss winning gives us the best road to WrestleMania, as we can watch the destruction of allies of convenience. Jade can get built up as a potential world ender as she beats up on two of the biggest women's stars that WWE has ever made in Alexa and Charlotte Flair. This could all result in a WrestleMania match where Charlotte and Alexa cost each other, leaving Jade as the winner. And this helps everyone in this situation. It's been a while since Alexa has even competed for a world championship. And we've already seen what happens when Charlotte puts over other superstars, aka Rhea and recently Kiana. Overall, I think WWE did a much better job balancing the contestants in the women's elimination chamber compared to the men's. There's a good balance of heels and faces to get mixed up in the match and to make sense of the match. Some of my in-ring expectations are Rhea and Raquel to dominate, and Tiffany and Kiana to give us some high-flying electric moments in the chamber. Maybe some cage dives, who knows? But I'm definitely looking forward to it. And speaking of matches I'm looking forward to, let's get right into Finn Balor and CM Punk. So let's address the obvious. Roman Reigns and CM Punk are practically confirmed as a main event night 2 for WrestleMania 42. And we can't really argue that, we've been asking for it. But the problem is, it already declares who the winner of our Elimination Chamber matchup between Balor and Punk's gonna be. There's no way WWE is gonna ruin that main event. So now that the obvious has been stated, yes, I do think CM Punk is going to win this match. But if you can still enjoy it while knowing that, then let's talk about the rest of this match. I think Punk and Balor are going to deliver a brilliant match, a marathon, where it even looks like Finn Balor is going to win this match. But then, Dirty Dominic Mysterio comes out and steals the victory from Finn Balor in some form or fashion, giving Punk the win, but also setting up something in the future. That being an Intercontinental Championship clash at WrestleMania between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. Plus, I think we could be seeing Finn Balor turn into the demon version of himself at WrestleMania. Why? Because the only time we've seen it recently was on AAA, and Dominic Mysterio is recognizable to the AAA fan base, making it the perfect opportunity for Finn Balor to make the demons return. Before we continue, we do have a couple mysteries to go over, including the box and the masked man. And to be honest with you, I'm not a fan when WWE does these things. They never really end up paying off, and it always leaves us disappointed in the end. When it comes to the box, there has been a couple intriguing rumors floating around, that being Danhausen and Chris Jericho. Now the Danhausen one does make a little sense. For his character to be sitting in a box for multiple weeks, it could happen. He's a goofy guy, he's a comic relief, it could happen. But Chris Jericho, I think, is just hope. And I'm hoping too. If Jericho made a return, I would be elated, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. His name is still active on the AEW roster, and WWE really hasn't been teasing him. The Masked Man situation has turned into a disaster in the saddest way. Watching these superstars go down with injuries is not something I enjoy doing. I honestly feel bad for whoever's behind the mask too, because at this point, the three biggest stars in the Vision, which is the group the Masked Man has been attacking, are all now injured with no timeline of return. So whoever is behind this mask is left with nothing. They have no direction to go with, unless it's Logan Paul and Austin Theory, who have been great, but they're no dessert for this payoff. Now, last but not least, let's get into the men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, I can't lie, I'm a bit worried about this match. If you look at the poster, you'll see there's 5 face superstars in this match and only 1 heel, and that heel is rookie Trick Williams. And don't get me wrong, Trick is awesome, but this match needs a veteran heel presence to carry it through. Now, I do think there is a solution for WWE to solve this problem, and it's by finally pulling the trigger on a heel turn for Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton. If WWE does pull the trigger on a heel turn for one of their biggest superstars, I fully expect them to win the match, whether that's Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes, and could even see a world where the other goes and grabs the belt before WrestleMania to set up the long-awaited clash between the two at the grandest stage of them all. We can even look back to exactly 1 year ago at the 2025 Elimination Chamber, where WWE pulled the trigger on a huge heel turn for John Cena, setting the stage for WrestleMania and instantly boosting ticket sales. And with reports currently circulating that WWE is unhappy with ticket sales for WrestleMania this year, we could definitely see another world where WWE gives us a legendary heel turn. If you're still here, that means you've made it to the end of the video, and I truly appreciate you. If you liked what you saw today, please subscribe, like, and comment so we can build this wrestling community up and do way bigger things in the future. Thank you.